Bright phone is crap because it's Samsung.
Don't make me get the phone.
Ace, calm down. It's not you I'm asking.
Talk
I'm
to me
asking
directly.
our lovely audience.
My partner.
He's not my partner.
So yeah, why you so again?
Just calm down first.
A product designer, you need a better laptop, right? You are using an iPhone 12,
Like you're drinking Garri, but you're using a MacBook Pro.
iPhone 11 and 13. Sell the phone, get a Samsung.
Like it just gives you that.
Stretches life.
Like it just stretches life. You understand?
I didn't say stretches life, I said trenches life.
Whatever. Just carry.
My seller was literally an abusive relationship. You know, sometimes you don't realize that you're in an abusive relationship until you come out of it.
Like maybe there are two major things you need to consider: productivity and your bank account.
Very important. Alright, my name is Isreal. I am October. You can call me October. I am a product designer.
My name is Bright Williams. I'm a programmer. Well, what do they call that? Software engineer. Yeah.
So I currently use a MacBook Pro 2018 and a MacBook Pro 2020. I use an iPhone 11, Apple iPhone 11.
No.
Oh yeah, an Apple MacBook Pro.
No. I use a 2021 MacBook Pro.
God I beg now. God I beg.
Calm down now the work, no be me. I also have a 2019 MacBook Pro, but I use a Samsung S10e.
Why are you so proud of the phone?
Because look at it, like, look, it's a beauty. I was using a 2019 before, right? And I think my work got to a level where it just couldn't handle, it couldn't take anything anymore. I could not open VS Code without my laptop complaining about memory space. It got to the point where it finished consuming all my RAM, and then it took some of my ROM, which is what. And so one day I was just like so annoyed, and I'm like, I have to get another one today. And yeah, funny enough, Source My Gadgets got that for me, and
Shout out.
I love my 2021 Mac. It is heavenly.
I don't use a 2021, as I told you earlier. Funny enough, I got 2018 and 2020 like 1 week apart from each other. And it's so funny because I used 2018 more. And the reason is because obviously I'm a product designer, and here is a little sub to us product designers. I know you really want your MacBook Pro, right? But let's be very honest to ourselves. You can actually do it on Windows. Let's be honest.
No, you can actually do. You should do it on Windows.
Sorry, product designers are only allowed to sub product designers. So keep quiet. Anyways, so yeah, and that's why I use the 2018, because it can obviously still do what I want to do on 2020. But that being said, 2020 is obviously faster because it's an M1 chip, right? And I mean, I get to have like all my programs, everything that I need, right, on the 2020.
So what are you people running?
So yes, I get to have my right on my 2020. So I don't need like a lot of space as Bright does. Because basically it's my Figma, and Figma is basically hosted in cloud. So all my projects are still in cloud, right? So there's no need to complain and to ask my company to spend half of their revenue on my laptop.
So I have a question.
I'm just saying.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's not to say that his company is revenue.
It's fine. But I have a question.
What's your
right?
question, sir?
So, I mean, I don't understand, right? You guys, designers, are all about color and all of that, right? There's something I don't get. When a designer is using a Windows, for example.
So it's different, actually.
Yeah. So, like, you are designing on what they call it, on a Windows
Laptop, yeah.
Windows laptop, right? And no, let's reverse it.
On a MacBook.
You are designing on a MacBook, and you choose a particular color. In your eyes, it looks good.
So that probably takes us to like what I used to use. I mean, I used to use a Windows. Like prior to 2020, I think. So my first MacBook was a 2019, and it was amazing. And the colors are actually different. So it's the same color code, it's the same blue, but because the MacBook has something called a Retina display, and I think they also call it a True Tone or something like that. It basically helps you pick out the colors like in the right way that it should be. So many times when you put your laptop, like if you put a Windows laptop, regardless of what even the because then I was in an HP Scepter, right, which is probably like the creme de la creme of HP. And if you put the Spectra on the left and put the MacBook on the right, increase the brightness to the same level, the colors are different. It's the same color code, but it's just different.
Yeah. So why do you now complain when you check a user's phone, right, and you see the color? You're like, this is not the color. This is not the color that is in the design.
So that should actually be on developers.
Oh,
yes.
So I should calm down and be checking the OLED whether the screen is what.
So if the customer's phone is showing a different color, it goes back to the engineer, because now una do rubbish. Now una no upgrade to Retina display.
Give me.
So it's not us.
You give me one color and you expect a shade.
Exactly. It's called a range.
A range.
Yes.
You know, these are my issues with these designers. They are very unrealistic, both in their designs and their expectations. So you know the problem with developers.
Developers are just lazy. Designers try to push the limit of technology, right? Yes, from what's this man's name? Something Ivy, I think Charles Ivy or something, the iPhone guy that designed the iPhone, and to Steve Jobs, to many of these guys, we all push the boundaries of technology. Let me school you right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
please.
So you see, design is not just about pixels. That's where you guys get it wrong, right? And that's why I said we move the boundaries of technology, because what we do is even the moving the cursor and all of those things, defining and changing different types of interactions and transitions is you getting to learn and become better in understanding your animations better, right? So that is a bit of design 101 that I just did for you. You can thank me.
But wait, why are you using 2 Max?
Why are you using 2 Max?
Hello. So when it comes to specs, what do they call it? My 2019 was using a 2 something gig, 2.5 gig, and it was using an 8 gig RAM, kind of, 8 gig RAM. And this, my 2021, it's an M1 Pro, that's the chip, and uses a 500 gig or 512 gig space and a 16 gig RAM, right? At first, I was really just doing more of back end and front end, right? But then I added mobile engineering into that, right? And so I think like an emulator, a phone emulator, an iPhone emulator takes like 30 gig of my space. An Android takes maybe like a 10 gig of my space, right? That's just the emulator. And then when it comes to the files I actually use to like code and all of that, right? Like the total files runs in gigs, right?
Sorry. Can you like break down what an emulator is? I think I know what it is, but
oh yeah, so basically an emulator just emulates your phone, right? So have the same functionality of a phone like on your laptop. Yeah, so it's like a clone, exactly. So basically, right, it's like you're having a whole new phone on your laptop. So like 2019 could not handle that. I don't know whether it's my own 2019, but it just sucked. It just sucked. And you know, the funny thing is that when I started coding, I started with an HP Elite book, thereabouts, probably using like a 4 gig RAM, 2 something gig space and all of that. And it got...
Is it a very big one?
Hey. Shit.
I hate that.
No. I've come a long way.
Yours, I mean, I know people say they don't give like sadder stories and stuff. I started with a Packard Bell Celeron. It was a Celeron to tell you how bad it was. When you push something and it doesn't respond until like 3 minutes after. So go ahead.
Okay, that was a pretty low.
It was.
I think that the MacBook was a Core i5 or thereabout, and I think the Eli book was also a Core i5. But when I held a MacBook,
it was just different.
Father Lord, I was like, wow. So this is sweet. Like life can be this easy. Like I was ecstatic, and I think like the first week I literally felt my productivity boost by like 50%, and like I was sure that I was as productive as ever. So like moving from a 2013, right? I mean, I think that's what happens with developers or maybe anybody, right? when your work starts, or when you start to level up, the kinds of tools that you need really needs to level up, right? So I got to a point where my 2013 couldn't handle the basic Create React app that I was building at that time, right? And then what do you call it? I then needed to like move to the 2019, right? I reached the cap of 2019. I never thought I would reach the cap of 2019, but then I did, and I realized that okay, this specs is really not so great for me. I mean, like the screen was fantastic. What do you call it? Yeah, like yeah,
the retina.
They try that, like no, they try in that, right? But then like
2019 is actually very good.
Yeah, it is. But when your work starts to like get too much, I think you need to jump ship, and like you need to jump ship hard. And you know, funny thing was that somebody was telling me like, hey, don't buy a 2019. Just go straight to an M1. In 2020 I did this. But I was like, no, I can't wait 3 months. I can't do this. Funny, I bought the 2019. I swear to you, it took me less than a month to realize that okay, that was a bad decision. And I needed to level up.
I think I'll just start from where it stopped, right? I was in a Spectre, and just like you said, you know, it's so interesting how like your productivity can change with the work tools you use, and that sort of like goes back to what we were saying about the designers and why they probably need or use Macs and all of those things, right? Sometimes it's not just about the fact that another laptop can't do the work, but can it do it that fast? And there's a thing about like speed and your mind. So when I found out personally that when I'm working, like maybe like I have things to do and I'm sort of like going through those things and I'm really doing them very, very fast. Like my mind locks into work a lot better than, you know, when I'm probably having a slow day and I'm just like trying so hard to do things, right? So all those things, those psychological things also, you know, they matter a bit. So that being said, another reason why, you know, designers sort of like move from like device to device and probably come to like MacBook rather is because just like you also said, sometimes you start to use more tools. So for example, I remember like before Figma really came into the scope of things, it used to be Sketch, right? Sketch, and you couldn't use Sketch outside of a MacBook, right? Sketch wasn't just compatible. I don't even think it's still compatible with any other thing, right? And then people needed to start using MacBooks, right? And now even for designers, many designers are becoming more multidisciplinary, not just product design and not just graphic design or visual design. So now they do a lot of illustrations at the same time. Some do fashion at the same time. So many times you probably need to use something like Procreate, for example, and you cannot use a Procreate without Apple, right? So either it's your phone, I don't think it's your phone, but majorly an iPad and a laptop, right? So one way or the other, you still need to get back into the Apple ecosystem, right? And then it just also happens that many times many designers tend to use iPhones, right? I don't know why, and it's just a very good sync, right? So for sometimes I can copy something on my phone and paste it on my laptop at this, like in the same breath.
That's the only thing they have going on for them, but yeah, that's pretty cool feature, I must say.
So yeah, why you saw again? Anyways, so like so those are just, you know, very little things. For example, like I'm probably chatting with my developer on something, and then he probably wants, you know, maybe a color code, or he needs something that I probably have on my laptop. I can just easily copy my laptop and just paste and send to him, and different things like that, right? So I just said all of that to say sometimes it's not just about the fact that an Apple and an HP or an Acer can do the work. I have a friend who uses an Alienware, and he is so devoted to Alienware, and I don't think he's going to leave anytime soon, because the Alienware, all you need to know about the Alienware is just look at it. You know that it's a literal beast, right?
Yeah.
It's a machine.
It's a beast,
right? But I think that Apple products are also very similar in that regard. Apple products are actually very powerful. Moving to like the MacBook was an unleashing of like power times 2. Right, so yeah.
So there's something that he said, right? When it comes to like the tools, I think the tools are very important.
Yeah.
So for example, I mean, with my 2019 MacBook, I got to a limit where I couldn't open 2 instances of VS Code for the programmers out there, right? VS Code, a what do you call it? I think I couldn't open 2 Google Chrome. Yeah, like 2 Google Chromes, 2 VS Code. I tried to run an emulator, and then everything is screaming like out of memory.
Once you hear the laptop go from,
you know that, okay.
things are happening.
Things are happening. And one thing is that I mean, like, the general consumer needs to be aware of the fact that products like Google Chrome, for example, they know no limits.
Let me give. So when I was in my Celeron, you know, sometimes you don't realize that you're in an abusive relationship until you come out of it. My Celeron was literally an abusive relationship. To me, I thought, oh, this was God trying to teach me patience. Sometimes, see, if you're in an abusive, God is not trying to teach you patience. Get out of it. But the point is, at that point, I would load Chrome, Google Chrome, normal Google Chrome that every single person out there launches on their laptop, and they do it, and in 2 seconds it's up. No, my Celeron.
You said, like, Opera Mini is what you're supposed to be using. You go.
Please, I'm ending this set. What is this?
I think maybe I'm going to speak for developers. So every other profession out there, Godspeed. But I think that when you are thinking about your work tools, right, as like, maybe there are 2 major things you need to consider: your productivity and your bank account.
Very important.
Yeah, because you can only be as productive as your bank account allows.
Amen.
But one thing that I noticed, that, like, if you feel like this tool, right, is going to help increase the standing of my bank account, right, please get it. Like, make that sacrifice. Like, just pay that cost, like, upfront. Right? Just pay it, do the work, do it well, get your money, and settle. Like, but if you try to say that, hey, I'm going to, like, let me hustle with this guy until like, guy, your hustle can pay. Like, it will pay.
I agree.
You want to do work for what they call it. You are doing two months gig. It has gone to 6 months. Contractor is like, where is my work? Where is my before you know, they say I'm not paying.
So for me, right, I would say I've been quite privileged, right, to places I've worked, get some of these laptops and some of these gadgets. But what I would just say is, if you're in that point where you are currently using a laptop that is, like, not up to par, rather than just spend most of your day just thinking, like, this laptop is nonsense, I can't use it. Like, in as much as I was using the Celeron and it was slow, I still kept on doing my thing, right? And still kept on doing a few things. So, like, I think that's one thing that you also want to do. Whatever stage that you are, you want to still keep on doing it, because it will eventually pay off if you continue. But, like, I think sometimes we might be at a crossroad of whether you should buy a new laptop, or if you're a professional that you feel like you need to upgrade your work tools, and you sort of have, I mean, you are a product designer, you need a better laptop, right? And you are using an iPhone 12, iPhone 11 or 13. I mean, bruh, sell the phone, get a Samsung, and get a Samsung. Use some of the money to get a better laptop. Like, Banter aside, I mean, you can even go back to an iPhone 6 or whatever, or an iPhone 1. And the point is, just like Bright said, the sacrifice, because eventually it's going to pay off. And
Samsungs are not a sacrifice, by the way.
I was just joking. But anyways, because for me, like, the gigs I sort of got after I started to use some of these better laptops, like maybe from Spectre to, like, Apple products and all of those things, were a lot better than, in fact, when I was using my Celeron, okay, yeah, I used to get gigs for. Because I couldn't give a proper timeline, because I know that this gig will take 3 months or 6 months. I know. And it's not because I'm not competent, it's because my laptop will not let me be great.
So you just faff?
Yeah, no, not really.
Man.
So, like, it was a bit hard to, like, push for some of these things. Then another thing is, because humans are very fickle, So for real, like humans are fickle, and that's part of what designers tend to do. We design for some of those fickleness, right? We tend to, what's it called, value things that, like, we sort of value people based on the gadgets that they use and the devices that they use. So for example, and what I'm saying in essence is, imagine you going for a client meeting and you are going, you pull out your MacBook or something. If you can afford it, you pull out your MacBook. The client sort of feels like, this guy goes sabi, even if you don't know anything. It just feels like, no, for you to have a MacBook, it means you've probably done like good things in the past and you can afford those things. But it's just one of the fickleness. Those things, yeah, those things also sort of like.
I think that's all. That's one of the great things, I guess, that Apple gives you, right? It makes you feel wealthy, even though
you're broke.
You know, like you're drinking Garri, but you're using a MacBook Pro. Like it just gives you that, like it just stretches life. You understand?
I didn't say stretches life. I said trenches life.
Whatever, just get it.
Go first.
I'm just much more curious.
Go first.
This phone serves its function, like it's very basic for me, right?
Sir.
Oh,
sir, which phone does not serve its functionality?
I think that's.
Wait, sir. What's the major?
So you know my problem. Wait. You know my problem with iPhone users, They have a phone that they rarely use half of its power.
So you know the interesting thing what you just said. So I used to say that thing.
Oh really?
Wait. So I used to say that thing. Like iPhone users, they just come around and say this, but they don't use half of the code. Wait, but do you know the truth? Do you know the truth? There is nobody, including what's this Google CEO's name, Pichar. I've forgotten his name. There's nobody, sir, that uses the full functionality of a phone. In fact, there's nobody that uses more than half, including our famous Marcus Brownlee, that uses more than half per time. That's the truth. Like, you can't tell me that you use all the apps on your phone, you don't use them. Let's start from there.
All the apps on my phone?
Yes.
I mean, like, I delete after I don't use it, but I use everything.
Alright, so
like, you know one thing, right? So you find out that, guys, did you know this was actually a button?
Yeah, it is actually a button.
Like, do you know this is
I know.
Shut up. Do you know that this is actually a button?
But you asked me if I. Not be me get the phone.
Ace, calm down. It's not you I'm asking. I'm asking
directly.
Our lovely audience.
Talk to me directly.
What do you use this for?
So it's an accessibility feature that you can actually use for different things. You can select you can select a range of things you want to use it for. You can use it to, I think you can use it to pick calls.
So why are you using this?
So chill, wait.
Like, can you see?
Can I talk?
Can you?
But can I talk?
Okay,
talk. Ask me a question.
Oh, yeah.
Let me talk. So, accessibility, because I mean, you're speaking to a designer, right? Accessibility is something that you literally do to cater for people that possibly have like some. I don't want to use the word deformity, but like some. How would I put it? So for example, people that have color blindness, you design things that sort of like caters for their sight. People that maybe can't really walk, you design environments to cater for them. So what I'm saying in essence is, like, many of these accessibility features are not necessarily for everyday use. So, and that's why it's an option. Even your phone has accessibility features that you don't use. And that's because it's not something that you really just want to
it's not actually hidden at the back, actually. So like, it's...
They just there to put theirs at the back. There are other things, there are other accessibility features that happen with my power button. There's some that happen with my volume keys and different things. There's some that even happen just on the screen.
But case in point, right?
So what's your point?
Have all these wonderful things and let's leave it there.
This is my pouch.
Oh. Please get another pouch.
You don't want to know how much this pouch is. My partner.
He's not my partner. Let us calm down first.
But what do I think about Bright's phone? Bright's phone is crap. That's what I think. First and foremost, because it's Samsung. Well, I'm just joking, but like,
Oh.
it would be weird for us to sort of just talk about phones or gadgets just from a functionality point of view, because things have moved. Like I said, humans are fickle. Things have moved past just an accessibility feature that Bright wants to kill himself over. If not, all of us would be using 3310. Or things have moved beyond just the fact that, oh, I can use my phones to send emails, right? And in fact, many of these things led to the fall of BlackBerry, right? I remember there was a conversation about like the BlackBerry phone then, and I think the Apple phone, when Apple went all screen and just one, forgotten what they call it, the center button. And the CEO of BlackBerry, they asked him what he thought about it. And he laughed, he scoffed at them, and he was like, every worker wants to send an email with their BlackBerry, with their phone. That's why they have keypads and all of those things. And he actually said that that Apple wasn't going to overturn them. But we know where BlackBerry now is. It's in the grave. So the point is, like, things have moved beyond just what. Stop, you're shaking your head.
No, I mean, like, I don't think the keypad was a reason for BlackBerry's downfall.
No, it was one of them. It was one.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, you could say the software and the fact that
mostly the
very
software,
Android and all of those things. But you know why you can't even say that? Because they tried to make a comeback with Android.
They tried to make it come back with it was too late.
I'll be lying to myself if I sit down here and say, oh, like when it comes to maybe the software or when it comes to like some other things that maybe the iOS is better than the Android. That's a lie. That's a big fat lie. Everybody that knows about mobile phones and knows about software and systems and all, will tell you that iOS is to a very large extent a bit of crap, right? But like, there's just many other things.
You can say it again. Like,
so there's just many other things that they're just emotional connections. It's just like why I ask you, why do you use a particular payment processor over another? Some of them is just a connection to it, right? Because they built a thing around it. So for me personally, one thing I really love about the fact that I use an iPhone is the fact that I also use a MacBook and I can sync a number of things together. And I just love the way I move around with apps. I think it's just cool. I feel like the feel of an iPhone is just a lot different. That's just what I think, and that's what I feel. Right? It might be different for you. You might not see logic in it, but like, yeah, because it's like I said, it's an emotional connection thing. For me to sit here and say, oh no, the iOS is better than the Android, that's a lie. That's a big fat lie.
I was using a Samsung S8 Plus before I got,
which is supposedly the best ever.
Oh, calm down, all right? You know, funny enough, right? I've used the Samsung S8 Plus twice. The first time, you know, Lagos conductors did their thing. You know, they magically removed my phone and replaced it with 15 naira.
For real?
Fuck that story. Ha.
50 bucks.
I was weak.
So they bought your phone for 15 naira.
You know, but the funny thing is that I was like, I was torn. You know, when you get when you get to that point where you're like, okay, I need to get a new phone, and you're wondering like, okay, what should I get? Should I buy an iPhone or should I buy Samsung? Specifically the Samsung bag, because I actually really love Samsung, and I could not, for any reason, I couldn't see any reason why I should buy an iPhone. Maybe it's because I'm not like a camera person. I don't take a lot of pictures.
Oh yeah,
right?
Wait, sorry. Thank you for giving me content now. So in terms of camera, if you're a camera person, do not, except some specific Android phones, like maybe the Google Pixel for obvious reasons. I mean, I don't expect Google to call a phone Pixel and the camera should be bad. I mean, it's just nonsense.
Like, let's be very objective here, right? When it comes to phones and brands and all of that, I think Apple, from the get-go, has positioned itself to be a luxury brand, right? So everything that they sell to you, they are going to make it seem like it is.
So it's not a seeming. It's not a seeming. It's something that your eyes can see and your hands can touch. Because
please, this review
we'll take 2 selfies. We'll test it. We'll put it. You people, please let us know what you think in the comment section. I think I'll choose a Google Pixel. You can already tell that I'm like a camera guy.
You see?
But apart from that, I
Oh, you're a camera guy now?
yeah. So in my church, I'm a photographer.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. But what happened to the iPhone?
That I can't use iPhone for taking camera of everybody.
You should be in skyscrapers used to snap.
Wait, just to nice one. Just for you to know, right? Even in service, we actually use iPhone for some of the shots. Actually, we don't use Samsung. Sorry, we use iPhone. We don't use S. Whatever. I'm not going to call the name because it's not even worth calling the name right now. So yeah, so if I was to use another phone, right? I'll use a Pixel, right? Because I saw, and specifically a Pixel 6. I saw the video of the demo, like I think it was last year actually. I think they released they released it October last year if I'm right. And I was blown away. All of those things. And I think the Pixel has a very, 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 very strong response to like touch and all of those things. Apart from the fact that I think it would just be nice to try Android again.
After all your talk, you're coming back.
I'm not coming back. I'm just saying it would be nice to try it again.
I'm really not so big on phones, but I think I might need to agree with Isreal there. Yeah, the Google Pixel is just like
6.
Yeah.
Go ahead and show me the developers.
So I think like in terms of productivity, so one way to hack all of this syncing that El Toba or what he calls himself talks about here with is please just Google, like let Google sync across your devices and you would not feel it. Like everything just works. Like okay, so for example, if I want to create that same functionality of copy and paste, right? I just go from my laptop, copy what I want. Maybe it's 2 more steps. I copy what I want and put it on Google Keep, right? And Google Keep already synchronizes it, and so I just pick it up from my Google Keep app and do whatever I want to. Yes, it's 2 more steps, right? But that is now so the reason why it's much more lovely is the fact that it doesn't matter if I'm using a Nokia Android or a Samsung, I can still have a very high degree of synchronization, right?
Yeah.
Without having to buy into a hardware that is damn expensive.
Maybe picking up from where Brian stopped, when we were talking about things that I really love about my phone, I think one part that I forgot to mention is AirDrop. Samsung people will come and say, oh no, I have something called a nearby share. Even the name is so stressful. Nearby share, so I'll nearby share it to you. Like what in God's name is that? Let me AirDrop it to you. And sometimes I get to send like large files via my AirDrop, maybe from my phone to my laptop and all of those things and different things, and even to other Android users. Very large files and they go in like seconds, right? And that's a very cool thing. Yes, there's nearby share, but
forget nearby share. I think number one, like AirDrop, it's really constrained. Like I can only send from Mac to Mac.
No, you can only send from Apple to Apple.
Oh yeah, Apple to Apple.
And that's the point.
Hello.
That's the point.
There are other devices in this world. There are other human beings in this world. You see the elitist mentality that Apple users have. These are the issues. Like these are the issues. So you feel like because you're using Apple now, everybody, if you don't use Apple, you're not worthy of my files.
Well, like no, we're not saying you're not worthy of our files. That's why we have Zenda.
Exactly, that's why we have Zenda. But you find out that the reason why Zenda is so difficult to use is because of people like iPhone. Like I can't do you know how many steps I need just to send a file through Zenda?
Exactly. So get an iPhone. Duh. Anyways, so that being said, what I was going to mention earlier was, when it comes to like productivity and syncing and all of those things are a bit different now because there are a lot of applications that have both mobile and web versions. So sometimes you can just easily sync across like different devices so that even if you're using any type of device, be it Huawei, be it Samsung, Xiaomi, whatever, you can easily do things across different devices, and I think that's cool. I love the fact that many the internet is becoming more connected than before, and I think that's a very great thing.
fits my hand. Like it's
Duh.
hello. Every iPhone user that sees me with this phone, it's always like, what phone is
It's
this?
small.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
like it's just. I think one thing I love about this phone is just, it's really just very simple, very handy, right?
Very light as well.
And it's very light. Like, I don't have to be stressing. Well, yeah. Don't try this at home, but I don't use. I don't use a pouch. I don't use a screen guard. I mean, like, why buy a phone if you are just going to cover up the aesthetics?
Exactly.
Like, what?
One thing I also like about, I love the fact that his phone is very handy, and I think I particularly love the fact that it's very light. And I think another thing I like about the Samsung phone is, if you have a WhatsApp message, it can basically just pop up somewhere here, just a little bar, and not light up the whole screen. I think that gives you like a lot of privacy. Unlike your iPhone, if you have a message, the entire screen just comes up. I think that's not as private as for a company that's so big on privacy. Oh yeah, and that's another thing I like about the iPhone. Sorry. So many
They
mobile
take their privacy too far.
yeah, many mobile devices don't ask you if you want to allow other applications track your usage on other applications, and many of these guys use it for adverts. But every single time you download an application from iStore or from anywhere and you install it, when you're putting all those specifications, you can choose to allow to track your usage on other applications, and that allows you choose whether you want to see specific adverts or specific things around different things, apart from the fact that you can accept or reject cookies and all of those things. So I think that's really cool.
He's not my partner. Let us start from there. No, so bad. No, 33.
Well, so if I could turn Bright into a phone, I obviously wouldn't turn him into a good phone. I probably there's this Siemens that we used to use that was blue light, the cooler screen and small touchpad, and it really fits his size as well. Same small size. That's it. Once again, my name is Isreal. I'm a product designer, and this boy is
Bright Williams, software engineer, and please use Source My Gadgets.
Save your life.
So
all
so great.
so.